Hey guys, welcome back to Winnie's Little Farm Journey. We're in full-blown winter mode now here in the farm. There's Mila's snowman. We have, oh look at the key. Alright. That's T'Challa, Mama Natasha, and there's Nabby over there. You guys can see her. Now they're exploring out here. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the lights flicker in the winter. I think I might have to change that outlet over there. Must be short circuiting or something. Where's your guys' plate? Mr. Bucky. Waiting for food. You know, a year ago he would have knocked this over, but he's actually doing pretty good now. I can leave stuff like this up here and he does pretty good at not knocking it over. Sit. Sit. Stay. Come here. Good job. Sit. Sit. Go. Pretty good. Pretty good. Then you got the girls. Come here. These girls always come for cuddles in the mornings. Good morning, Valkyrie. Come here, Lolly. My girls might be pregnant. See how many babies they're carrying in here. Hella. Also, a little update with these girls. You guys know last video, or I think it was like 2 videos ago, we showed you guys when we bred them. And we bred them all around the same time. Well, Valkyrie was bred the day before. And then these 3, Donkey, Hella, and Lolly were bred the next day. Well, Hella went in heat again like 21 days after that. So we ended up breeding her again. So she's going to be 21 days after Lolly and Donkey when they had the babies. So she didn't take the first time that we bred her. But it seems like Lolly, Valkyrie, and Donkey, they took the first time. So we're looking at March babies with them, and then Hella should be a little bit more April, beginning of April for the babies. I don't think they're showing at all, really. The only one that I think it looks looking a little showing is Donkey right here. You guys can see her. With goats, if you look at the goats, when they eat a lot, the left side gets filled with their food, the hay and whatever they eat, right? And the right side, it's where when they're pregnant, that's where you see the pouch for the babies. So they say right, row rods, and then left, the Roman for their food. But she's showing already, I think she's showing a lot here on this side. So, which makes me think then she might be carrying more than one. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I think she may be carrying more than one. She's showing more than anybody else. And then Lolly, she's not like this. I mean, these girls have always been a little more fluffy. So, we'll see. Maybe she's just a little fat. So winter brings out the challenges. We got a heated water bucket here for them. It keeps the water from freezing. And it actually keeps the water pretty comfortably warm for them. I was surprised how warm it keeps that water for them. Oh, look who's visiting, Tony. Came to visit his friends in the shed. Can you say hi to nieces and nephews? So I was listening to this, so I was watching this YouTube video the other day. Me and Kelly were watching the YouTube video. We actually don't sit down and watch much TV anymore, TV or YouTube or anything, which kind of goes into like what I'm going to talk about. But anyways, this video they were talking about like a YouTuber which a lot bigger than way bigger than us, and somebody called him out about being the transparency about like what he does in his farm, and you know, like how it's not really realistic, like the homesteading and the things that he's doing, and how he's giving like false hope to people to do homesteading, because like he talked about like not everybody will be able to do it, right? And it kind of made me think, because I was like, you know what, you're right. When people do like videos, a lot of times you fit into the audience, you know, you want to get numbers and stuff, and so you want to make like cool videos, cute videos, whatever, and then you want to get those views, right? But you may not talk about like really the challenges of like what comes with homesteading. Some YouTubers do, not all of them, but some do. But I guess like what this person was upset about is because they wanted to do exactly what this person was doing, but they just didn't see how things were feasible, how the person was doing it, and they were just kind of a little upset that he wasn't being very transparent about how he was funding all this stuff that he was doing, right? So personally, to me, I'm like, well, you know, I guess he did say that he was being transparent about everything that he was doing on YouTube, and he does put figures about like what his farm makes and all that stuff, which doesn't add up, and it doesn't take a genius to say, hey, his farming doesn't pay for what he's doing there. But obviously, most of his revenue is coming from YouTube and social media and all this stuff. He ended up quitting his day job to do YouTube full time. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is that, you know, some people think, or actually what she was arguing is that it gives a false hope that some people think that anybody can just go out somewhere, start a farm, and then just live off that farm forever. And to her point, yeah, that's far from the truth. Farms are not very profitable, at least not in a small scale. You know, if you're homesteading, you definitely need to have another source of income. I think I said it before, you know, from our channel, that like our YouTube channel, I mean, and it's not, if it gets big, it'll be great. You know, it'll be huge, it'll be awesome, it'll be a great help. You know, like financially, it'll probably be fantastic, you know, to finance things around here and everything. But it's mainly for mine is mostly for a documentary for my family, my kids, you know, down the road. And then, you know, if it happens to make great friends on YouTube, which we have, I mean, I think we're like 268 subscribers now. And, you know, impressively, obviously, there's a lot of the subscribers, most of you are now my family members, you know, and it's pretty cool because I have talked to some of you and we have made great connections. So that's kind of cool, you know, that you can talk to people on YouTube and you get like great advice on some things and everything. So, but I guess like, you know, going more into it, like, you know, being honest with like the audience, I guess like, yeah, you're right. I mean, doing the homestead thing, it's hard going into it. And I guess because when I went into it, my reasoning for moving into this farm was not to do homesteading. The reason why I bought this farm is because when I was in the military, I was stationed in North Carolina, and there was a little town called Havelock. Havelock was a town, and the station that I was stationed was Cherry Point, North Carolina. It was a Marine base down there, and that's the base that Brent was born. You know, so Brent was born in North Carolina, Naval Hospital, Cherry Point. Quick fact, you know, about Brent. But anyways, we fell in love with that area. You know, it was a very small town and very quiet. You know, very far away from the cities. Everything was like 30 minutes away. Like any big stuff was 30 minutes away. It was very quiet. You know, and when me and Kelly looked at each other, we said, hey, you know, when we're ready to retire, we want something like this. We want something away from the city, just quiet and whatnot. So then we found this property. You know, when we moved out here, it was cool. We found this big property. And then I personally just kind of like started going through YouTube and stuff. You see, I found YouTubers that do homesteading. Oh, I forgot this guy's cookies. And I was like, oh man, that would be pretty cool, you know, like to do some farm animals. We have the land, you know, something for me to do for myself, you know, and it's something, I guess something I haven't told. Maybe I have, I'm not telling the audience, but you know, I do have more free time than the average person, you know, because a lot of my things that I do for income and work, they don't tie up my time as far as like a 8 to 5 job. I do some things from home. I do some things where I got some investment properties, and then just things like that, you know. So it does free up a lot of time for you to invest into a property like this. And I guess what I'm going through with that is that doing a homesteading, you know, going into it with somebody like me who had no experience on it, it takes a lot of time because you don't know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you got that learning curve. One of the things that I reflected on, and somebody mentioned it to me, I forgot who it was, but they said it's like, you know, let's say you homestead, you know, I'm 40 years old, right? Let's say I plan on homesteading for the next 30 years and I want to harvest things. Well, in Wisconsin, that means I'm going to get 30 tries. You know, if I'm going to do it for 30 years, I get 30 tries to get this right. Let's say if you get the first 5 tries wrong, then that means you got 25 tries to harvest something right for those 30 years that you're going to do it. So there's a lot of, you know, going into it. And if you don't have that generational experience into farming or whatever or whatnot, then it's tough, you know, because it is frustrating, you know, like when you plant something and it doesn't work out. The first year that we came in here, planted pumpkins and watermelons, and we planted like 1,000 feet, 2 rows of watermelons, and none of them gave. None of them. Kind of frustrating, you know, because I was like, wow, what do we do wrong? And you know, we got some advice on YouTube. There's actually Sweet Brian Farms, they give us some advice, and then we learn from that, you know. And we just realized that we just did it wrong. We planted in the wrong place. It was not where we needed to plant. And this year we did a little different. We did a little trial and we put it in the greenhouse. We did get some watermelons, but then we would harvest them too late because we, of course, you know, we did some research and we thought we were harvesting at the right time, but same thing, you know, we harvested too late, and then at that point your watermelons they don't taste all right, you know. So there you go, 2 years wasted trying to grow watermelons, but not really wasted because you gain experience, I guess, you know. Like, so it's all a matter of how you look at it, you know. We gained experience. I guess some people, you know, will burn out, give up on homesteading, but you know, you just gotta have a mentality and push forward. Now, it's not all bad, you know. I mean, it is very rewarding. There's a lot of things that have happened here that I love. I love watching animals being born. So far, it's only been chickens. You know, you got little chicks coming. Oh, and cats. We have cats. So, oh no, they haven't been back. You know, barn cats are a headache sometimes, because my barn cats, for the most part, they're pretty good. But then my 2 barn cats out here, they keep running away. They don't run away. They've been gone, but then they don't come back, and then they come back. So they must have came back the past 2 nights because the food's gone. See? And I left treats for them. So they come back, eat the food, and then they leave. So they're fed. They're not dying. I know they're out there. It just kind of worries me. And I think I worry more because it's cold. So I'm more worried for them than whatever. It just worried me. Pepper. We spayed Pepper a couple of days ago, and we had her in the house for 2 days to kind of like let her recoup. And then she came out here, and then her and her mom just kind of took off. So, but they came back the last 2 nights to eat. That's crazy. They're somewhere out in the field. Or probably in those trees over there. I don't get it. I built this thing for them. I bought them a heat pad, a water heater and everything. Now they don't want to use it. I think she's mad at me because I took it to the doctor to get sprayed. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to being homesteading. You know, I love the experience. Personally, it's become a very soothing thing for me. You know, it keeps me very, very well balanced, personally, you know, emotionally, mentally. You know, having animals, it's given me such a good feeling, a purpose, you know, that to be quite honest, you know, I struggled when I left the military to come back into what you would call be like a civilian, reintegrate the civilian lives, population, whatever. You know, I struggled to find purpose with the things I was doing, I guess. Any job, I mean, I had a couple jobs, you know, I had a lot of jobs after that, but I never really felt like what I was doing had a purpose, you know. So I do think like homesteading takes a lot of time. Homesteading is a supplement, and it's not gonna replace like a job, and I don't think it's gonna save you enough money where you will be able to quit a job, you know. I think you do homesteading just so you can provide a better product for yourself as far as like food and your family, you know, and you're gonna work hard for it. I think it's not easy. Homesteading is not easy, you know. I think there's beautiful benefits to it. There's like a beautiful thing of seeing an animal being born, that you're taking care of them, but it's not easy. You know, it's definitely not easy, and I do think you need some capital to get started, especially if you go into it not knowing like that's what you want to do. There's capital that you need to have to get started, you know, especially like if you have no infrastructure, you know, if you think about the things that you want to do homesteading or things comfortably where it's not miserable, you know. This greenhouse, it wasn't cheap, you know, but there are programs out there with the local resources that can help you pay for some of those things. So I guess being knowledgeable and trying to look for those things can help you finance those things. And I think homesteading looks different for everybody, you know. There's a lot of the YouTubers, homesteading channels that I see, they show like they got homeschooling kids, you know, they do all that stuff, and that may not necessarily be the right thing for everybody, you know. I'm not knocking down on it. I think it's great. You look at those channels and they look like very nice families, and kids are doing awesome. Personally, I think my kids benefit very much from having obviously my kids are not homeschooled, but I think they benefit from having those relationships, you know, at school with other kids. And I think eventually they're gonna go out and meet the world, and not everybody in this world is nice, you know. So I think there's benefits to going to homeschool, even if you don't agree with everything that's been taught in there. But, you know, you're the parent, you're at home, I guess you can always talk to them. There is this chicken, and I think, where is she? I'll show you guys this chicken. Oh, there's two of them that look alike. So, there's brown and gray, that one, this one, and that one. Those two are like kind of the same breed, but I want to say it's this one. She's developed a habit. This lady likes to lay her eggs underneath the coop, and she's laying every other day. So every other day we have to pick up her eggs from underneath the coop. So I think that's a habit now. So. Yeah, she's the darker one of the two. I think she's the one doing it. But check this out. This girl's in the feed bucket. That's not what I was going to show you. I want to show you that. Just caught this girl in the middle of the egg. There she is. She's about to lay that egg. There it is. Beautiful blue egg. I told you there was a girl laying an egg in there, and it was her. And that's how eggs are laid. That's awesome. It's a beautiful blue egg, but it's always underneath. Kind of stinks because in the winter, if you miss it, it freezes at night. Then it's lost. So. So look inside the coop. Somebody in there laying an egg. Anyways, I guess here, final thoughts on homesteading. My limited experience of homesteading and my outlook at it. I would say, if you're gonna get into homesteading, I would say be prepared to, I would say, do your homework. Have some type of capital, whether it be to start your infrastructure, or build fences, or build coops, or whatever, you know, buy your animals. Have some capital for that. Do your homework of, like, you know, what really entails to raise those animals. And make sure that you and whoever's doing this with you, whether it be your husband or your wife, you're on board with it. You know, because I definitely think like it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You know, you're not gonna get up every day and do this. So I love it. I love getting up and doing this. I think, it's, like I said, for me, it's very therapeutical to come out here and just kind of spend time with my animals, see them every morning. I love them. And I think anybody that truly gets into this for the animals, they will love their animals the same way. You know? If you have any reservations and you think you're gonna hate this, I say just don't get into it. You know, or maybe just go volunteer somewhere and take care of the farm for a little bit and see if you like it. If not, like don't even get into homesteading, you know, because it's an investment and you're probably gonna hate it. But if you volunteer, if you know you're gonna love animals, do it. I think it's rewarding. And make sure your wife or husband are on board with it, because you definitely have to work as a team. You know, definitely, like me, Kelly, and Jason work as a team to do chores, and sometimes one of us just do not feel like doing it. And Jason has had to come out and do my chores. Kelly has had to come out and do my chores. I had to come out and do theirs. We have had to come out and do Jason's. You know, so it's a team effort. You know, and it helps when you have somebody to help you. You know, plus there's days you're gonna be sick. You just don't want to come out and do it. And to be quite honest, there's days that we've all been sick, and you know what? Guess what? I'm out here sick doing my chores. So, but it is rewarding. It's beautiful to see your animals grow, multiply, and the fruits that you reap out of it. So for us, it's only been 2 years, but so far I'm loving it, and I'm sure that we'll continue to see more. That's what we're growing, and that's what we're growing the farm. But feel free to call me, comment, ask me any questions. We'll answer them honestly and truthfully, and we'll go from there. But until then, I love you. See you in the next one.